First of all, the use of force in Libya has caused huge fractures on the Council, with at least 5 abstentions and many members very leery about using force again, fearing it's going to create a new precedent and expand the powers of the Council. Also, among those who are very anti-Gbagbo, there's a certain leeriness as well. I was talking with one ambassador today who said that the very nature of the fighting being done in urban areas in the Ivory Coast, rather than with tank battalions outside of cities, as in Libya, meant that it would be extremely impractical to do airstrikes, and they were very wary of authorizing force, which might mean that an external army could march into cities and make matters more violent and more dangerous for civilians.
I see that the non-profit organisation, the International Crisis Group, has written an open letter to the Security Council saying that Ivory Coast is rapidly descending into civil war. So what are those thousands of UN peacekeepers doing there?
Well, they find themselves in a very complicated situation. A lot of these peacekeepers went in expecting to monitor and run an election, and as that fell out, they found themselves with 2 objectives, one being to protect civilians, as their mandate does require, but the other being to keep the electoral status quo. The UN has recognized Alassane Ouattara as having won, so now they are protecting him in his compound in the Gulf Hotel, while also claiming to be neutral. The reason they're claiming to be neutral is because in order to protect civilians, that other key part of the mandate, they need to have contacts with the Gbagbo forces. So for them, they're poised in this very uneasy situation, which is another reason the Council is very hesitant about making their life more complicated.
Just very briefly, Tom, they'll discuss this next week. How likely is the resolution to pass?
Well, Russia and China, who hold vetoes, are traditionally quite wary of interfering in what they see as the internal affairs of other countries. However, the fact that this has sanctions and a possible international criminal court indictment rather than the use of force, as in Libya, might make them somewhat more accepting. Certainly the backers hope that it won't be watered down too much.